Pro Tip Tuesday. My name's Sally, and today you are going to hear my tips on riding a hot horse. By the end of this video, you'll have 5 tips or 5 tools to put in your tool belt to help you ride the hot horse. Whether you're starting out or are a seasoned competitor, these tips are for you. I've helped hundreds of riders do the same thing, so let's get started. So many riders have a hot horse on their hands, and it can be very difficult to tackle, and often riders tackle it in a way that's not constructive. So what you want to think about when you've got a hot horse, you've got lots of energy, and you've got lots of highly sensitive and very explosive responses. So what you want to think about is getting that horse to listen to your seat. So you want 0 to no leg, you want very little rein, you want to have a seat that is spot on, that is doing all the work, that is doing the work of your legs, that is doing the work of your reins, so that the horse can concentrate on one thing only, one area only. It doesn't have to think about its mouth, it doesn't have to think about its sides, it only thinks about its back and what's going on between the horse's back and the saddle and your bum. So yeah, really make sure your seat is working well. Make sure your core is in great condition, because a core that allows a rider to be wobbly, it's also going to allow a seat to be wobbly and imprecise and inaccurate. So you want your core to be nice and strong, and you want to be able to use the top of it when you want to be able to use the bottom of your core when you want, the sides, and so that you can control your seat to a minute detail, so that you can control your back, and that way it makes it easier for the hot horse to concentrate only on what's going on on its back and in that saddle. So very little leg and very little hand. The other thing is lots and lots of rewards for the hot horse. Especially because what's happening is that they're often trying too hard. They're responding too much, and they're trying too hard, and often they get it wrong, and it's perceived unfavorably by many riders. So whenever a hot horse tries, and even vaguely tries, make sure you reward it, and make sure you reward it in a way that they enjoy. Hot horses are sensitive, so if you're giving it a great big slap on the neck, it's not going to be conducive. If you've got a hot horse and which is sensitive, scratch your horse or rub your horse, using the whole palm against the horse's neck. Definitely don't pat it. It's like you're, it won't be perceived as a reward. It will be perceived as a wake up and be even more sensitive. Exercises that you can do, especially at the beginning of your workout, you do a walk, trot, walk, or a trot, walk, trot. And a hot horse wants to go and trot and canter and go and do lots of things, but you want to keep it calm, and you want to calm the whole energy between you, and the best way to keep that energy calm is with trot and walk transitions. So the opposite of that, which is trot canter transitions, I would avoid those until later in your workout. Do them at the end, once you've done, once you've worked through several things, and that keeps everything nice and calm. It builds your training, a particular workout gradually, and in that and as you're building gradually, especially at the beginning, leave a longer time between transitions. And what that means is that you have to ride those transitions really, really well. So you as the rider want to focus on not making mistakes. So if you can do that, you're really going to help your hot horse. And once you've established all of those things, then you can do the exciting work, the canter work, or some of your lateral work, and the harder stuff, do the harder stuff at the end. You know, and if you've got a very quiet, calm, sedate horse, you want to do all the opposite of these things. Although, you know, use your seat rather than your hands and your legs, because that's what dressage is all about. However, you know, your calm horse, you want to do trot and canter transitions early on. You want to do the hard stuff early on in your workout. Whereas with the hot horse, leave that till later. You know, the hot horse, you want to do all the stuff that he or she knows. You want to reconsolidate at the beginning of your workout until the horse is nice and warmed up and is listening to you well. And that's when you say, okay, let's try something new, or let's try something hard. And in that way, you're going to keep the hot horse's confidence, and you're going to be able to have little inputs, you know, because the horse has that confidence. It's going to be listening to you in that moment, and you're going to be able to say, okay, let's do this canter transition but with more collection, or let's do this canter transition but we're not going to canter for very long, or whatever it is. And in that way, you're going to maintain that horse's confidence, and that in turn keeps your confidence and your you know, your consistency a whole lot better, which is one of the goals of training dressage. Okay, so they are some tips and tricks on how to ride the hot horse. If you liked this Pro Tip Tuesday, don't forget to like or comment below. And do you have a hot horse, or do you know someone who has a hot horse? Tag them and let them know that this video might come in handy for them. So don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate you watching and commenting and posting your questions. So thank you so much for that. I will see you next time.